Ordinary PVC tubing, right? Yeah, of course. However, there's a conveat. I cut it in half. 2 pieces. I filleted it in half completely. Why, you may ask? Why do I have this support glued on and zip tied on so it doesn't come off? Well, if you didn't know, these zip ties obviously have to be turned off. This is going to be turned into a fender. And this is going to probably take a month and a half to do. I've only gotten started. Tough as hell to cut metal and to glue it with clamps and then finally zip tie it halfway in between. That's a lot of work. And to fight with this bastard, I had to heat it with a hair dryer just to open it up, because the tension it has on it, it's enough to push the glue off, or to push the pieces I glued on off of it. And so I'm gonna make these into fenders, because my 2 fenders are falling apart. They're rusting to shit, and I need alternatives. These only cost me about $50 in total for this long pipe. Long hosing, that's how long it was originally, until I cut it in half and split between. So now comes the cumbersome part of putting this together, which takes much longer. So as to when this can be completed, I actually do not have a timeline, and it might last about maybe 2 or 3 months. But once it's done, then comes the tricky part of installing them. And I already have a plan to do that. So the first task is to get it completed. The second task is to get it installed. And thankfully, it's gonna take time, but at least I don't gotta spend too much money. At least I hope not. If you're wondering why I said the fenders have fallen to pieces, this I can break off if I wanted to. This is rusted to shit. But you can see why. Rusted to shit. You can understand that I don't want my fenders to fall apart. They keep the water from getting all over my jacket or my back if it's raining. So I gotta get this project completed before those fenders fall apart. And for a new pair of metal ones, the cost is upwards of $130. And that fender set, which I'm going to be making myself, is going to cost under $130. That's it. So, yep, things take time, but it pays off in the long run. Because if you're wondering, these fenders are not going to rust. They may crack over time, but that's easy to patch up. But in general, if they're kept in the same shape throughout and they eventually harden, they just become plastic PVC fenders. And yes, things like that take time, and that's the plan. To have a project completed, to have it done, to have it installed, and this way things last for the long term. I'm not talking about the short term. The long term, the long term. Decades. That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's about all. Things take time. I'm anticipating a long time to get this done. In between whatever I have to get done. So, yeah. I'm going to make sure I get this shit done. Get it completed. Get it installed, and finally, whatever it looks like, it's going to be weird. Final product will be shown. And, well, it takes a lot of labor and a lot of patience, and 24 hours in between gluing each strip, so I gotta do half, then half. So that's why I give a project timeline originally of 1 month. Nope, it's gonna take at least 2 or 3 to get it completed. Then the poke holes around each metal piece, zip tie it in place, 6 per piece. I'm gonna need at least 24 or 36 metal pieces to get the spacing correct, so when they're mounted, they're not going to be making contact with the wheel. That's the tricky part I gotta overcome. And frankly, I could have gotten narrow tubing, but they didn't have exactly how narrow I wanted it. I could have used corrugated tubing, but they didn't have the thickness, they didn't have the size I needed. You know, cut in half, half moon. It was too big or too small. And it would have been nice, but that becomes a bit tricky when you're trying to mount it to something, and then dirt can get caught inside it, and that could crack over time. So I chose the PVC because it was thicker, 4 millimeters at least. So that was a better option. So whatever happens, happens. I'm just gonna get this done, and hopefully I can inspire somebody to maybe do the same thing. Because I know the options that Canadian Tire has, so the mud flaps, they're not going to work. I've evaluated already. I've brought my bike to the store and I placed them over. They're too damn skinny. They won't work. I'm disappointed. That's why I gotta go this route. And no, pop bottles would not be a good idea. I tried that before and they fell apart. Glue in them, eventually they come apart again. That's not what you want. Anyways, gotta go. Cheerio. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe.